Welcome to a very special edition of Coach's Corner, this time Ask the Athletes. I'm here with Bill Coleman for HWTV, and today we're joined by Mission League champion and two-time All-Mission League defender JT Fetterman and fellow Mission League champion and Clemson commit Danny Lynch. Danny, JT, thank you so much for joining us today on this very special opportunity. Today we're going to get into both of your phenomenal seasons and into your personal games and goals a little bit also. I want to start by congratulating both of you on winning the Mission League, and we'd like to ask both of you, first off, what was the toughest part of the season for each of you? We'll start with Danny and then JT.
I think it was just coming together really quick since we do have a really young team. And I think it was just finding that balance of just like being composed at times. And I think we had a huge growing period and we're peaking at the right time going into CIF.
I think coming into the season, we were facing some adversity with injuries and we were a younger team. But I think that we've built a good sense of family throughout the season, and we've gotten really close as a team, which I think has helped us in winning some of those bigger games that we have not been able to win in past years. But yeah.
So do you guys have any specific goals, either personal or team goals for the remainder of the season?
Obviously going into each season, the goals are to win Mission League, to win CIF, and we've now taken care of one of those goals, but CIF's it's win or go home, so we can't mess that up. We have to go into each game with that mentality of just be confident, but also like be focused and be ready to just go for 80 minutes. And hey, we're looking for our first CIF title ever, so that'd be awesome to get both Mission League and CIF in the same year. But yeah, same goals.
Yeah, I completely agree with JT. I think it's just going to be a huge thing for our team just to take it one game at a time and be able to continue to grow going forward. And I think it would just be a huge thing for, not only our seniors, but also our underclassmen to have that opportunity to get far in CIF, since I know it meant a lot to me when I was younger, and it set like a level of what I wanted to do for the rest of my high school career.
Let's take a look at both your two seasons respectfully, right? It sort of went in different ways, where you look at the boys' season, they start off undefeated and have a tough game at Loyola, obviously, where they tie. But besides that, it was mostly they were in first place for most of the season. They were trying to sort of hold on there and not slip up. And for the girls' team, after that loss in the rain to Notre Dame, you're 1-1 in league play, and there's some questions about what's going to happen. Both of you end up winning league, but I wanted to ask both of you too, what was a defining moment in the regular season for each of you? We'll start with Danny and then JT.
I think it was the second half of the season, since in the beginning, I think we kind of came off like, oh yeah, like we totally got this in the bag. And I think it was just, there was more of a battle, I feel like, and I think honestly, that was better for us as a team, since then we were going to be ready to battle going into CIF. But I think the biggest moment was that loss, because we took that and we were like, hey, we're going to take that game and we're going to grow and play better, and we're going to battle that next time. Since we had another game right after that against Chaminade, who was also, I think they ended up second in our league this year. And it was just a battling point from then on, being like, hey, we're going to take it one game at a time. We're going to do our thing, play our game, and then we're just going to keep going and see how that goes in the end.
Definitely.
I think in past years we've been able to start off the season strong, and we did again this year with a 3-0 start. And it was at that same point last year where we ended up going downhill from there. We lost to St. Francis, lost to Notre Dame, lost to Alemany. So I think the most important thing that our coaches told us and that we knew going into the rest of the league was that winning is easy, but continuing to win is really difficult, and we needed to keep that mentality of, each game, go into it the same. Don't treat Loyola like it's a special game. Treat each game like it's the same, and then by doing that, we'll be able to, play well against those teams who we know we're better than and not lower our level to their play. And I think that helped us a lot. I think we focused defensively as well. We've got 12 clean sheets in league. We played very well defensively, and then we scored goals as well. So I think it all clicked. And yeah, we're excited for CIF. But yeah, those were the main challenges and goals.
So focusing in on both of you guys as individual players for a little bit. JT, you're a junior. Danny, you're a senior right now. So you're committed to Clemson. So can you take me through a little bit about why you chose Clemson, what went into that decision?
Well, first thing was I knew what I wanted in a college. I wanted to go to a big school that had that big sport experience. I also knew I did not want to stay in California, which, I mean, my parents were not. They were like, oh, but I was looking at different schools. I traveled a lot during my junior year, and I ended up with my top two in the end. But it just was, Clemson just had more appealing stuff. I mean, it was just, I loved the school when I visited. My sister was there, which is a huge plus, and I just thought it would just be a great place for me to grow since it also had the programs that I wanted to take, since I wanted to double major in business and then communications. And so they just fit every check mark that I wanted.
Both of these teams really benefited from young play. For the girls' team, Vicky Pugh, Kai Santamarco King, JT for the boys, Micah Ross and Theo Addison could keep on going. But the interesting thing to me was obviously there was a lot of senior-led moments in the season, but there were a lot of younger players really stepping up, and both of you as captains and upperclassmen, how did you take on sort of mentorship roles on these younger players that really allowed them to elevate their games?
Okay, I'll take it first. I think that coming in as a freshman, like initially for me, I was obviously that younger guy. I was the new guy on the team, and then going into sophomore year, I was elected captain. I don't think I did as good of a job being that captain for the team as I'd like to do now, as I think I have done this season, because I was still the younger guy, the new guy. So I understand like how the sophomores and freshmen feel if they aren't as comfortable and confident, taking on a big role on the team. But because of that, we just kind of have to encourage them on a daily basis to be confident and, just be confident in their play. And I mean, this year compared to other years, I think the team's a lot closer than we have it in past years. I mean, from freshman to senior, we're all good friends. We're all tight. So I think that encourages the team morale, and it gives us more confidence, and it gives the younger guys more confidence than they'd have if, like, the seniors were not as close with them. Yeah.
So I couldn't play in my freshman year since I was playing under U.S. Soccer, but coming in my sophomore year it was a little strange, to be honest, since I was one of the only girls that joined that team that year, and also that was the team that went all the way, won CIF. Like, we were, like, practice was, like, high tempo, everything. And I think that year was a great learning year for me, but also it was really interesting since those seniors who were our captains, they were tough on me and tough on the younger girls, being like, hey, like, you got to be on our level, like, be here all the time. And I think I kind of took that. I know I'm tougher sometimes on our younger players, and I'm like, hey, like, we got to do this since we are a young team. And I'm like, hey, like, focus, like, we got this. And I think there's also just a good balance between me and my co-captain, since she's also, like, we balance each other well, I think. And I think going into when I found out I was going to be captain, I was like, okay, like, this is the time where I need to just make sure that, like, we're all ready to get into the season.
So now I want to get into a little bit more some fun questions down here. JT, can you take me through your game day routine? How do you get in the zone before your games? What do you do?
Okay. I mean, I'd like to think I don't have a very special game day routine, but I mean, it just, I'll eat. I think from the cafeteria every single game day, I eat the salami and crackers and cheese package. That's
Nice.
just like that's my go-to.
I live on that, bro.
Go down early before home games. I go down early. I do Normatec, roll out, just get physically prepared, and then I'll go in the locker room. We'll usually have a speaker on. We'll be blasting music. We'll be having fun, and then once we have our pregame meeting, I'll just get ready to go. Tape up my feet. Tape up my cleats, which have been falling apart until recently. So I got to get some new ones. And then right before we go out for warm-ups, I'll usually put my AirPods in and just kind of lock in mentally, and then that's when I'm focused for the rest of the game. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
How about you? What's the routine, Danny?
Well, every day, always before a game, I literally have the most sugary drink I can think of. It's probably not a great idea, but I still do it. And then once class is ended, I go and take a nap in the locker room. I always do. And then I put in my headphones, and once I wake up, I put on my headphones, just listen to my music, and I go outside and sit on the field and watch the JV game and just kind of start envisioning what I'm going to do for the game ahead of us. And then we have our team meetings with our coaches, And then the girls' team, we have our own little special routine that we do every single game that's been tradition for years that I cannot share with you guys, unfortunately.
We got iced out right there.
But, yeah, I mean, I don't think I'm, like, that regimented, but, like, those are just the core things that I usually do.
Have you ever slept too long in one of those naps, missed the game?
No, those no, I mean, those girls always somehow come to the locker room and wake me up since we're a very loud team.
Yeah. On more of a serious note, you both are defenders and both really lockdown defenders who rarely let attackers by you. In the game of soccer, that position isn't, I guess, the flashiest where you're scoring big-time goals and stuff like that. So what motivates both of you to be so good at what you do?
Okay, I think that obviously it's nice to score goals and get assists, and I do have 2 goals this year, so I'm going to take credit for that first. But I think for me personally, I do enjoy some parts of defense that other people would say they don't. I do enjoy making those big tackles and making those heroic last, like saving plays. And a lot of people care more about like scoring and dribbling and nutmegs and all that stuff, but I think that like by the end of the game, if you win 1-0, like to say that you guys got a clean sheet, to say that we got a clean sheet, it feels nice, and I do take credit for that, and it feels good. And yeah, I think there are some parts of defense, like also the physical aspect of it. Some people don't like that, but I enjoy it. I enjoy bodying people, making those big tackles. That's fun for me. And I think that's probably why I enjoy it most.
I'm also going to take credit. I also have a goal this season.
Only one? I think how many games left? I think we might need a little friendly wager here on who comes out with more.
We'll see.
But also, like you guys said, like the forwards are the flashy, like they're like, they're usually the ones that are highlighted. And I kind of like have this mindset that like I like shutting that down and not letting that happen, kind of. I do love getting physical sometimes. Like, I think it's just super fun. But I also like being a defender since I feel like it's just a place where you have a lot of control since you can see the whole field and, like, just you can do so many different things. And also, I'm an outside back, so I can get forward, too, sometimes and help in different parts of the field. But, yeah, I mean, I love the physical part of the game. I think it's just so fun to, like, be like, hey, I'm like a dog after the bone, just, like, I'm going to get that ball and, like, do my job.
So now we are going to move into an all-new segment on Coach's Corner. This one is called Pick a Teammate. So I'm going to ask a series of questions right here, and each one of you guys, just give me a teammate that you think is the correct answer to that question. So we'll go ahead and start right here. Who do you guys think is the funniest player on the team?
I'm gonna go with AJ Salo, the freshman.
Okay.
Oh, God. There's, like, 2.
Just give me one.
Okay.
Best answer.
I mean, I'm just saying it's between Maddie Holly and Jada Pryor, but like this year I kind of have to give it to Maddie Holly since that girl she cracks me up every day.
Okay. All right. So the next one is who on the team has the best celebrations?
Kaya on our team. Every time she scores, she does something different, and we all just have a blast watching her do it.
I mean, I don't really know. We kind of do the same thing for all of our goals. We just run to the corner and we kind of just do some random celebration. But I think Josh last game when we did the C celebration,
that was nice. Yeah.
That was pretty cool. That's one that stood out to me.
All right. The next one is who do you guys think the hardest worker is on each of your teams?
Can't say yourself.
Yeah, exactly. Because we all know that.
I think this year, I mean, there's a couple. I think as a senior, I think SJ he's worked really hard this year. I think he's grown a lot and become one of our top players easily. He works so hard on and off the field. I think he's definitely a good choice for that. I think on the field, I actually really respect the way that Ray Sirota plays. I think he runs more than anybody on the field. So I think he works extremely hard as well. But those are just 2 guys. Everybody works pretty hard.
Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of people work hard, but I also just want to highlight, like, Simone. I'm not even going to try to attempt her last name since no one can
I'll do
see
it. I learned it, yeah.
Hey, let's hear it.
Let's hear it.
Poitosinanon.
Okay, there we go.
All right.
But Simone, just as a freshman, I was just so impressed with the way she works. Like, she wins every header that comes her way, and even as a midfielder, she's able to get back and still win balls. And I think she just does a great job. But then I also want to give it to Ashley Reese, since she's just solidified a starting spot. She wasn't starting in the beginning of the year. I think she just worked her butt off to get that spot for herself.
That's great to hear.
All right, last question for this segment, and my personal favorite. So I got to set the scene a little for this one. So imagine that there's a dark alleyway, and you know something's about to go down when you walk down there. If you could pick one teammate to walk next to you and to protect you, who would it be?
I think I'd choose Charlie Seymour or Asher Ross. And those are two bigger guys on our team, but I also think they're very tough, and those are the guys I'd want behind me in that situation. Yeah.
You could handle them yourself, though. You know?
Yeah, as you mentioned, JT, you do love to get physical every now and then.
I think I'd want Vicky Pugh with me. I mean, we all call her our quad queen, and I think she could kick someone's butt, and she's able to push literally 4 girls off of her, so I'll take her.
For me, so, we've been sort of comparing and contrasting the two teams. So just another one from that sort of idea is coach-wise, Coach Erush, Coach Sims, a little bit different. Coach Erush, new to HW, his second year, if I'm correct, right? Or third?
This is his third.
Third, okay. And then Coach Sims has been a staple around campus for a while. So I guess my question for each of you is, how has your respective coach influenced your game the most, and what is your favorite sort of tactic that they utilize either on the field or off the field when it comes to like team morale, stuff like that?
Okay. I think the past 2 seasons, Urish is a great coach, but I think that the seniors, especially the past 2 seasons, have not connected well with Urish's tactics. I think he's here to change the program, and he has already. But I think in past seasons, not everybody's been as bought in and committed as they are this year, which has been harder for, I think, our coaching staff to kind of just it's been more difficult for them to just form the new program that they have in mind. So I think this year everybody's been more bought in and more committed and more into it, and I think that because of that, the coaches have been able to really just I don't know what I'm trying to say, but it's been a lot easier with our team now being more bonded. Irish has really, we understand his coaching tactics. He works hard. He makes us work hard. And I think we've all connected a lot more with Irish this year, and we all understand what he's really trying to get out of us. And I think he's been a lot more successful this year because we've been able to listen to what he's been trying to say and what the overlying themes of his coaching has been.
For Coach Sims, for the first 2 years when I was on this team, he used to call us the dream team, and at the beginning of this year, he told us all, he's like, I'm excited for this year since he's it's a little different, and he goes, I'm excited to show my coaching style, since he's what can you do when you have so many talent, not more talented, but it's just more in sync. It's a little different what our team was in my sophomore year. But I think he's done a great job. I enjoy he knows when to stay quiet and just let the girls do our thing, but he also knows when he needs to lay into us. And I actually enjoy when coaches yell, since I think it's just a great thing and shows how encouraging they're trying to be. And I think he just does an amazing job of doing that and just keeping practice high level, and the way he coordinates that to who we're playing later. I think he just does an amazing job.
All right, so we've talked a lot about each of your guys' teams individually, but together you got the boys soccer team, you got the girls soccer team. How's the dynamic between the two teams? Is there any friendly competition, any wagers, anything like that?
Friendly wagers, of course.
I think when you think about when it comes down to how we've watched each other's games and supported each other's teams, it's been hard during the Mission League to go watch their games because we play on the same day, and when we play home, they play away. When we're home, they're away. So it's been tough to go watch them. Obviously we're friendly with each other, and we support each other, and we made sure to watch some of their games. They watched probably a couple more of our games in preseason, but we'll make sure to go support them during CIF, and I hope they'll do the same for us.
Yeah, all the girls, we always loved, we're a boys' game's coming up, we're going to go watch that, since it's also a team bonding moment for us, too.
Both these teams have been hindered with absences this year. For boys, different things, injury, absence. But for the girls, Sophia Waters got injured in that rain game against Notre Dame. So I guess how have each of these teams been able to sort of work through those injuries? Because you both, impressive stuff. Boys winning Mission League for first time in 25 years, and girls continuing that sort of athletic tradition of dominating the Mission League. So you guys really were able to work through those injuries. How would you say the team persevered?
Sophia was a big part of our team. Like, she's such a strong player just coming in as a freshman, filling in that spot. She's filling in Daniela Quintero's spot, which is a big role to fill. But I think also the girls that came in after Sophia got hurt, they've done their job, honestly. I don't really know how else to say it. And we are excited. She's back at practice too now, and she won't be able to play in CIF, obviously, but she's still there coming to every practice and being supportive. But I think people were just doing their jobs.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, for us, we've obviously dealt with COVID with both of the Casamassimas. Nate's also had an injury. SJ got injured. Charlie got injured. And we have such a tough schedule with Mission League. It's 14 games in the span of 3-4 weeks. So it's difficult to get through all of that without injuries. But I think this year our team has a lot more depth than we've had in past years. We've got a lot of sophomores, freshmen. Everybody's stepping up off the bench and just on the field. And with some injuries, it's obviously we have to face that adversary and continue on. But we've been able to still be successful even with some of our key players not on the field, and we're still dealing with injuries right now. Erush just told many of us to just take the next 3 days off before CIF. So it's important to have that depth so that you can continue to still play well and keep the level up even with injuries.
JT, Danny, we really want to thank you guys for your time. That concludes our Coach's Corner Ask the Athletes, so we hope to see you guys on the next one.